Welcome to Chess Puzzles explanation. Let's try to analyze the board right now. It's almost towards the end game, and if you look at the material, we see that white is little higher probably. No, they have one queen and two rooks, whereas we have one queen, two rooks, and a bishop as well. So it's almost similar or a little difference. And if you look at the areas that we need to concentrate on, we see that this particular quarter has a lot of activity going on here. For the opponent, we see there is G file where two rooks are connected, and for us we see that E file has two rooks connected. We also have the pawn which is advanced, so which is covering these two squares, which kind of like gives us an ability to attack the king on the back rank. And since we have the queen targeting the king's diagonal, we also need to be little careful as to what we will be planning on doing. So here we have two rooks, so if we capture the rook with our queen, they can capture the rook back and we'll be able to capture the rook again. So we will be gaining 1 point advantage, but one thing that we need to observe is the queen is still aiming at the king, which means that this rook almost is immobile for us, and because of which we will not be able to attack the king on e file, and even the rook on e8 also becomes almost useless for us. So probably targeting this file may not be very good for us. The other line of attack that we can consider is the e file attack. So we can play rook to e1 and opponent can capture that, and again we can capture it back and give a check. So that's one good option, and king cannot go to this square or this square because this square is guarded by the queen and this square is guarded by the pawn, so either they can't move here also, so which means that the enemy has to move back to this. So king will be at this position, and since we have the queen, right, we will be able to move our queen to this location where we will be covering the back rank as well as these squares. This looks like a promising line. Let us try to check that. So we'll play the rook to e1. This is as planned. Let's capture it back, forcing the king to capture back. Okay, and now we can play our queen to c1, which should be a checkmate. Yeah, so this went as planned. Thank you for watching.